What would it take to break free from everything you've ever known? What if the very world you were born into was one that denied you education, health, and safety? In Educated, Tara Westover shares her emotional journey of overcoming isolation, fear, and ignorance to become one of the most remarkable self-educated women in history. Her story is a testament to the power of learning, the strength of the human spirit, and the unyielding quest for knowledge. Today, we explore her inspiring memoir. 1. Growing up in isolation. Tara Westover's story begins in the rugged hills of rural Idaho, where she was raised in a strict, survivalist family. Her father, a man deeply distrustful of government, schools, and even doctors, kept his children isolated from the outside world. Tara and her siblings grew up without birth certificates, vaccinations, or a formal education. Their only teachers were their parents, and those lessons were often centered around fear and self-reliance. The Westover family lived in a world of extremes. Tara's father believed the world was on the brink of collapse and that they needed to prepare by stockpiling food and supplies. Tara's mother was a herbalist, working at home to heal the family with remedies from the land. Tara's childhood was defined by hard work, fear, and a lack of basic schooling. She wasn't allowed to attend school, and the idea of an education was treated as unnecessary, even dangerous. At the age of 17, Tara could barely read or write, and she had never been outside of her isolated, rural community. But there was a fire in her, a desire to understand the world beyond her family's rigid beliefs. 2. The journey to education. Everything changed for Tara when she decided to take the daunting step of going to college. At the age of 17, she taught herself enough algebra and grammar to pass the ACT and gain admission to Brigham Young University. It's hard to imagine how a young woman with no formal schooling could possibly survive in a traditional academic environment. Her first experience at BYU was nothing short of a shock. She was overwhelmed by the idea of a classroom setting, the modern world, and the social customs that most people take for granted. She had never even heard of the Holocaust or the civil rights movement. She struggled with basic concepts and had to catch up on a lifetime of missed knowledge. But Tara was determined. She threw herself into her studies, devouring textbooks and learning faster than she ever thought possible. Every step she took on that campus was a victory. Each new word she understood, each new concept she mastered was a breakthrough. Despite her profound isolation and lack of academic background, Tara realized that education could be her escape, a way to build a future for herself outside the confines of her family's narrow worldview. 3. The battle between family and education. As Tara began to excel in her studies, the conflict between her growing independence and her family's control over her deepened. Her father, especially, viewed her education as a betrayal. He believed the world beyond their survivalist lifestyle was corrupt and dangerous. Tara's pursuit of knowledge was seen as a rejection of everything he had taught her. Despite the emotional and psychological toll of her family's rejection, Tara refused to give up. She began to question everything she had been taught about religion, family, and the very definition of truth. Her education became not just about gaining knowledge, but also about finding her own voice. The strain on her relationship with her family was immense. There were moments when Tara's desire to remain close to them conflicted with her need for intellectual freedom. Her family's manipulation, control, and love for her were tangled in a way that left her constantly torn between the love of her family and her thirst for education. Yet, Tara was determined to break free. The deeper she delved into learning, the more she realized that she could shape her own destiny regardless of the expectations placed upon her by her family. 4. The struggles with identity. One of the most profound aspects of Tara's memoir is the internal struggle she faces as she transitions from a girl raised in a world of isolation and ignorance to a woman trying to forge her own identity. Tara's education didn't just challenge her academically, it made her question the very foundation of her existence. As she moved further into the world of academia, Tara began to feel torn between two worlds. On one side was the family she loved, the only world she had ever known. On the other was the new, expanding world of education, freedom, and possibility. She felt as though she was no longer fully part of either world. This struggle for identity is especially poignant as Tara starts to recognize the deep psychological wounds caused by her family's control. The mental and emotional cost of breaking away from her upbringing is immense. She grapples with feelings of guilt, alienation, and confusion. But through it all, education becomes Tara's source of strength. It's the key that unlocks her potential, and the means by which she can heal from the psychological scars left by years of isolation and abuse. 5. Achieving independence. Tara's journey of self-discovery and education ultimately leads her to a doctorate at the University of Cambridge. Her story is one of immense personal growth, resilience, and overcoming profound obstacles. Educated is a testament to the power of learning as a means of liberation, not just from poverty or ignorance, but from a psychological and emotional prison. But even with this academic success, Tara's path was not easy. The emotional and psychological scars left by her upbringing were not easily erased. Despite everything she had achieved, Tara still faced immense challenges reconciling her academic life with the deep emotional ties she felt to her family. As she reflects on her journey, Tara comes to understand that education is not just about knowledge. It's about freeing yourself from the limitations others place on you, and even the limitations you place on yourself. So, what can we take away from Tara's remarkable story in Educated? Here are a few insights that may resonate with you as you reflect on your own life. 1. The power of self-education. Education is not confined to schools or institutions. We all have the power to educate ourselves, regardless of our circumstances. Tara's story reminds us that learning is a lifelong process and can happen at any age, no matter where we start. To dot the importance of critical thinking. Tara's journey shows us the importance of questioning everything. The ability to think critically and independently is essential for growth. Don't accept information at face value, challenge it, learn from it, and grow stronger. 3. The cost of pursuing your own path. Pursuing your own path may not always be easy. There are sacrifices, emotional costs, and hard decisions to be made. But Tara's story proves that the freedom that comes from self-empowerment is worth the struggle. 4. Never stop growing. Tara's ability to reinvent herself, to rise above her past, and to create a future for herself based on knowledge and self-awareness is an inspiring reminder that we are never limited by our beginnings. Growth and change are possible at any stage in life. In Educated, Tara Westover teaches us that the pursuit of knowledge is more than just an intellectual endeavor, it's a powerful force for personal liberation. Her memoir reminds us that, no matter where we start, education can help us overcome the constraints placed upon us by our past. Thank you for listening to this powerful story of self-empowerment. Tara's journey of self-education and escape from isolation proves that no one is ever truly stuck. There is always a way to break free and build the future we want. If you found value in this, be sure to check out more book summaries for more insights and inspiration.